Hey, everybody, this is Not Your Mother's Day Fantasy League Podcast. I'm your host, Mike. As always, I am joined by my esteemed analyst, Dave Buck. How we doing, Dave?
Hey, doing good tonight, Mike. How you doing?
Doing well, man. It is week 4 of the NFL season. We have week 5 and 6 matchups to go over, and we have our very first double headers that are inter-conference.
Interleague. So we got 32 games to go over. Kind of find to see who's tougher, the AFC or the NFC. Looked at the point spreads, and it was like a 17-15 split. Looked at the points games today, and it was still a 17-15 split. So we'll see how things shake out and who gets bragging rights, the AFC or the NFC.
And once again, the NFL throwing curveballs at us with 2 Monday night football games in week 4.
Yes, I don't fully understand it, but I guess we'll take it and leave things in suspense tonight.
Yeah, I don't either. So again, guys, with 32 matchups to go over, we're not going to go in super depth in the ones that are out of hand. We are definitely going to focus on the ones that are close or could change. So without further ado, let's jump into these matchups.
Before we get into this game, let's kick off Survivor.
Yeah.
We started another round of Survivor.
We did. And we have some eliminations.
Yes, for everybody who did not pick the Jets, they advanced another week. So unfortunately, Denver Sean and Bears Mike, thanks for your donation. We appreciate it.
Yeah, our second reboot of their Survivor League.
And
we already have third reboot.
Reboot in week 4.
In week 4. And obviously a bunch of people had the same thought I did. Is like, screw this. I'm not taking any chances. I'm taking the Niners at home against the Patriots.
Well,
and that
the
game
thing is, if San Francisco would have lost, Detroit would have won that, or Jordan would have won that thing again, picking Dallas.
Yeah, and that Niners-Patriots game was closer than it should have.
It got tied at the end. So
yeah. So another crazy week in Pick'em for sure. It's been a crazy NFL season again.
So let's go ahead and start. Let's start talking about the game that you and I both have interest in.
Yeah, we can do that. So you and I are facing off against each other.
Well, let me set this up first of all. I went into the archives, went clear back to week 10 of 2022. And you beat me 338 to 272.
All right.
And then your team went in a funk. You were not seen anytime after that. So,
what week was that?
That was in week 10.
So that first season was pretty wild. I started the league like 6 or 7-0. And then week 11, I believe Lamar Jackson got hurt.
Yep.
And my only backup was Tyler Huntley, and I'm just going to go on record and say he is the worst Pro Bowler of all time. He was not worth his weight in piss from that point on. So yeah, but that's not going to happen this week. You're going to get the best of me here.
So anyways, I'm final, so I am done for the week. Currently up by 90. You've got 4 players left. I'm guessing. My hypothesis here is you got Tyreek Hill, linebacker Campbell, Jaron Reed, and the Seattle offense.
That is correct. And as I had said before, the aforementioned Tyler Huntley is now the quarterback of the Dolphins, and that is why Tyreek Hill has done nothing ever since. And I'm not expecting a whole lot tonight. Maybe if Tua was in there and I got a 40 bagger out of hey, I'm Nick. I'll just say it right now. Mitch Trubisky, a much better Pro Bowler than Tyler Huntley. I'm willing to confess that. But this dude has done nothing with the Dolphins, just like he did nothing with the Ravens. It's not going to be enough to catch you. However, we got an interesting one between me and the Bucs.
This was the most fun game that I watched today because I checked it out and then I sent you a text saying checkmate.
Yep.
So you are currently up by 6 points, and Tampa's got Tyreek Hill left, who you have left. So it doesn't matter who else you have.
Yep.
So unless all your players go negative points tonight, you've got that one in the bag. So
Correct.
this was
I'm just hope I'm really just hoping to break 300 for the first time this year. It's dire straits right here. It's pretty
well,
bad.
321 would be okay with me.
Yeah, I bet it would be.
321 would be okay with me.
All right, so I'm expecting to split and go 2-4. Let's move on. This Cowboys Bengals matchup. We don't think Donnie has enough to catch Nick though.
Well, Nick's got two left. He's got the Miami coach and defensive end Phillips. But Donnie's got five left. He's got Montgomery, DK Metcalf, Anzalon, and Jalen Ramsey. He's got some firepower. It depends on what Phillips does for him. It could be close. I mean, it might make Nick a little uncomfortable tonight, but I'm not sure if he gets there or not. 48 points is a lot to overcome. But Donnie, we are rooting for you. There's a lot of us rooting for you here.
That is correct. We are rooting for you for no particular reason.
Yep.
Okay, so Nick again against the Eagles, but yeah, this one looks like it's going to be the Bengals again.
Yeah, and the Philly's got three players left. He's down by 66. He's got Gino, Laporta, and Tyler Lockett left. Those three, their averages were 45 points. They're definitely going to have to be way over their averages to be able to catch him.
Nick says he feels uncomfortable, but I don't know if he feels it enough.
Well, let's back this up. Let's go back to the Cincinnati Dallas game. Okay, those starters that Donnie has left, they average 48 points combined, and that's exactly what Nick is up. Except for he does have the Miami coach and Phillips, so a defensive end.
Yeah, not enough.
I don't think it's going to be enough with what Nick can get. Obviously, if Miami loses and takes a -3 spot, wouldn't that make things interesting?
Yeah. Pretty clutch pickup of Jordan Mason there in week 1. I got to say, I'm still surprised the Niners have not been fined for what that kid said in that post-game press conference, admitting he knew on Friday.
Yeah.
But whatever. Killing me in another league.
Inside information. I'm sure Nick's got it. Cheater. But anyways.
All right. So we're going to move on to this Steelers-Cowboys matchup, which should get intriguing.
Steelers Cowboys game. This is an interesting one. Pittsburgh's up by 8. We talked about who Donnie's got left with Dallas. Pittsburgh's got Waddle, Charbonnet, and his punter Bailey. The three of those are averaging 50 points left. Dallas is averaging 48. I asked the question earlier when you and I were talking, who's going to start tonight between Charbonnet and Walker? Charbonnet's been money the last couple of weeks, and if he's back to a backup role and Walker takes over, that average is going to go down, and I think Dallas has a chance to catch Pittsburgh here, even with the players left.
And it looks like Walker is going to start tonight, so it is certainly going to eat into Charbonnet's productivity unless he struggles, and then Seattle's got a two-headed monster here. So but I don't expect that to happen. Walker has been very productive when he's on the field.
Well, and you gotta remember, one of Pittsburgh's flex players is Waddle left, and who's throwing the ball to him tonight?
Yeah. Well, good port Jordan. I mean, Lions run defense has been very good, so they might just bottle up that Seattle run offense. But the long story short there is just that this is probably going to be Cowboys with the W here.
Yep. I'm thinking Donnie gets his first win there. Maybe 2 if he can pull the upset with Nick. That would be great. Or did I say that out loud? I'm sorry, Nick.
Yes, hopefully. All right. How about Steelers versus the Eagles? Does Shannon have enough here to make this comeback?
Steelers are up by 26. Philly's got Gino, Laporta, Tyler Lockett. They're averaging 45. It could be doable, especially if Waddle doesn't get the ball and Charbonnet is not starting.
Oh, I did want to highlight that monster game from Troy Anderson here, which he did not finish, he said.
Yes, he went out in the fourth quarter with a knee injury. He did not practice today. He's got a short week this week. He's supposed to play Thursday night. Obviously, one of my favorites, and I don't have his jersey yet, but soon to be if he keeps on throwing up games like that.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Jim here, he's got that weekly Tyler versus Jordan Love dilemma, and he picked wrong this time.
Yeah, but I had Love in another world, and you don't know if he's coming back or not. So I had to choose somebody else.
Yep. Yeah, I get it. And that was a tough matchup against Minnesota. I mean, he did get picked off 3 times, but he just kept chucking it.
Well, if you're going to throw 45 touchdowns, you can afford, or you're going to throw 4 touchdowns, you can afford 3 interceptions.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we also have the Browns versus the Commanders, and unfortunately, this is going to look like tough sledding for Dan this week.
Yeah, Dan's got a score under 200, and I'm not sure what happened to his team. And uh, right now, Washington. This is the battle of the Dans, by the way. I did pick that up today. The two Dans are battling it out. Washington's up by 33. He's got a chain Acne in back. He's got Brooks. He's got Long. He's just got Washington's got way too much firepower, and it may be close by 33 points today, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's probably closer to a 100-point spread by the time this game's over.
Yeah, we had said before how Dan looks like the cream of the NFC crop. And I loved me some Nico Collins this year. And with Tank Dell on the shelf, he went off.
Yep. And Lamar Jackson's no slough there as his quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So again with Dan versus the Giants, but we're expecting the Giants to come back and win this one.
I'm giving the Giants a chance to come back here. They got the Detroit coach. They got JSN. They got Waddle. They got Campbell, and he's got a cornerback yet. So I think his 5 players are better than what Dan's got coming back in his 2. Even though Dan's got Geno coming playing for him. I think the Giants got a chance to come back and possibly get 2 victories this weekend.
Yeah, it's very tough to win when you're only getting 40 points out of your 5 flex players. That's very tough. Moving on, we have Baltimore versus the Commanders. This one might get interesting.
Well, Gavin's up by 30, but he's got his Lions players playing tonight. As the Lions do well, so does Gavin. He's got Gibbs, he's got the Detroit punter, he's got Jack Campbell going, he's got the Detroit offense. So, if Detroit rolls Seattle tonight, Gavin will do well. So, a little bit of an upset in my mind. I would have thought that Commanders would hold him, but I think Baltimore's going to get a win here.
Yeah, that would definitely be a big win for him. I mean, any week that Lamar, the Ravens do well on offense, then Baltimore's going to do well.
Yeah, this is one of those interesting games where if you look at it, the quarterback matchup was a push for the week.
Oh yeah, Lamar.
So we had a couple games that happened. I think Sean and I had one where we both played Nick Bosa, and they canceled out each other points. But when you have one of your studs playing against the same stud in the other league, cancels things out. Kind of interesting. So.
Yeah, and Von Miller, very boom or bust this late in his career. Sometimes he's going to get a couple sacks, and sometimes he'll do nothing.
Yep.
All right. How about Ravens versus Giants? It looks
Ravens,
like
Giants,
Gavin's probably walking away with this.
Yep. But again, the Giants have got some firepower left, but Ravens got some fire. Gavin's got firepower left also, but being up by 86 points helps way too much. So it could be a 2-0 weekend for Gavin and his Ravens.
Yeah, it looks like a really tough week for the interior of the Giants defense here.
Yeah, when you play 3 defensive ends and you get like 7 points out of it, that's 7 or 15 points. That's gonna hurt.
Pretty tough. Jordan Hicks, a very productive player at times, but yeah, inconsistent to start this year. Okay, now we are over to Jets versus Seahawks. This one probably won't flip, right?
That one's not going to flip. Braxton's got way too much left. He's got HN, he's got Laporta, he's got Weatherspoon, he's got Anzalon left. So, he's up by 53 and he's got a lot of firepower left.
Well, in that event, are the Giants going to whoops, are the Jets going to even up their record to 3-3?
Well, again, I think he is because the Jets have got, the 4 players left that we just said, and San
Yeah.
Francisco Matt. He's got Kenneth Walker and Amon St. Brown. Even though that those are 2 studs, we'll see how many carries Walker gets tonight. With Charbonnet still carrying the load, and Walker's coming back from that injury, so it's even though he's starting, it's still up in the air. So I just don't think he can overcome what Braxton still has left to play.
Wow, Niners with a whole bunch of 20-point players on the bench here.
Well, Niners are really deep.
He does have depth for sure.
A lot of depth.
It can make for difficult decisions sometimes setting that lineup. All right, so now we've got the Dolphins versus the Seahawks. Is Rich going to start playing like that power ranking of 2 you projected him at?
He could. He's got the studs to do it. Rich is up by 95. He's got 2 players left. He's got the punt. He's got the place kicker of Tennessee, and Seiler, the defensive tackles against Josh's 5 starters. It's not going to be enough to overcome that 95 points. So chalk one up to Miami. We are going to start to see a theme here. I think the AFC East may be going 8-0 on the weekend, which is going to be very impressive.
Yeah. And Rich cracking 300 without a single touchdown out of Josh Allen that's something right there.
That's crazy.
All right. So over to the Dolphins versus the Niners, but yeah, looks like Rich is probably going to walk away with that.
Yeah, but again, Miami's up by 57, and he's got Walker and Amon St. Brown left. I mean, those are 2 guys great to have left over, but I don't know if they're good enough. I mean, they'd both have to go off tonight to overcome the 57 plus whatever Seiler and the place kicker is going to get them.
All right. Well, staying in the AFC East, we have the Patriots against the Rams, and looks like Joey's going to get well over 300 here.
Joey's up by 59. Here's another one of those checkmate ones where they're both playing Hutchinson tonight. So if LA Rams Scott thought he was going to catch somebody with Hutchinson, Joey puts the check move on him, and those will cancel out. And then it's just down to cornerbacks Carlton Davis versus Tyrese Knight. Not worth the 59-point difference.
Yeah, 86 points out of his 3 backs there. It's really solid production there. All right. Patriots against Arizona. And Cardinals are done. That one's over.
Yep, that one's over. So Arizona's done with that one.
All right. So looks like Jeremy's score is finalized at 321, maybe starting to play like that high ranking we gave him.
We both gave him high rankings, and we both think he's got a lot of depth, and he's still
he does.
He's part of that AFC East, which is going to be tough.
Yeah, 321 with very little out of Ayuk.
Interesting that he's playing Bucky Irving as his running back. He's a backup, but he's getting into Rashad White's playing time, and put up 17 points with about 40% of the carries compared to Rashad White. So I think there's a changing of the guard over there in Tampa Bay, and who's going to be the running back.
That is possible. Where am I? All right, this one is final as well.
Yep, both looks like the final.
Bills. Yep, looks like the Bills are going to be 4-2.
So we can call that one for Jeremy. Jeremy will go 2-0 again.
Yep. Jags and Bears.
Jags and Bears, that's an interesting one here. Um, the Bears are currently up by 13 points. Jags got one player left, which is Montgomery. Mike's got two players left. He's got Charbonnet or Ridley and defensive tackle Seiler. I think Seiler plus the 13 points probably is going to cancel out whatever Montgomery gets. So I'll give a slight edge to Mike, but Jacksonville I think definitely has a chance. But I think Mike holds on this one.
Yeah, that's one to watch for sure. DeAndre Swift finally, with a little room to run, those road cones up front actually did something for him. All right, so now we've got the Jags and the Lions.
This one I think flips. Currently, Jacksonville, Eric, he's up at 24. He's got Montgomery, like we said. Jordan and his Lions, he's got Gibson, he's got Jameson Williams, Cater, cornerback Cater, and linebacker Campbell. If Gibbs cancels out Montgomery, I take the other three, and I think they can overcome that 24 points.
Shoot. Hold on a second. My mouse just died on me.
Need a new battery.
Well, I can just plug it in. That makes it easy. 1 second. I use a laptop, but man, do I hate touchpads. I just hate them. I hate them so much. Make sure I'm back up and running here. Nope. Come on. There we go. I love these wireless mouses where you just plug them in and then they recharge automatically.
Yep.
Okay. There we go. Jags and Lions. Back over to Titans and Bears. The Titans might be 2-4 after this week.
Yep. But the Bears with the big lead here by 109 points. Dustin's only got his coach, a cornerback, and a safety left in 3, and that's not going to get it done tonight.
It's kind of wild because Breece Hall was projected as maybe the number 2, number 3 back in the league, and he had a few. I mean, he's getting a bulk of the carries here, and
he only got 10 this weekend.
Yeah, that Jets offense looked putrid, and I keep seeing that highlight of Breece Hall missing blocks.
Yep.
And it just looks awful.
And he keeps that up, Braylon Allen's going to continue to take snaps away from him.
Yeah, seriously. Mr. Vet Rogers back there ain't going to take too much of his running back letting edge rushers run right past him. Yep, here's another one. The Lions are going to pull this one off.
Yeah, Jordan's up by 62. He's got the 4 studs left, and Dustin doesn't have a whole lot left. So this one will hold, and Jordan will go 2-0 on the weekend.
Well, I mean, I guess I can't feel too bad about being 2-4 because my record will not be worse than Dustin's.
There you go.
I mean, assuming if I get a 50 burger out of Tyreek, I mean, maybe we can talk. But again, we're talking about Tyler Huntley, the worst Pro Bowler of all time. Okay. Jason, does he have enough here to catch the pack?
He's down by 54. He's got JSN and a flex, and he's either playing a safety, either Love or Poyer, linebacker Murray. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I think Green Bay holds on to this one, pushes his record to 5-0, and eventually 6-0, beating Houston later.
Since I see Justice Hill here, I will quickly talk about especially since Nick is still watching, that Dorian Williams has played very well so far, other than that play where Justice Hill juked him out of his shoes and Lamar just dumped it right over Dorian in the end zone for the touchdown. That was a nice little move by Hill there. All right, so now the Colts and Minnesota. Minnesota's looking like it's probably the highest scoring team this week.
Yep, he's up by 121 points. He's got 2 left. He's got Witherspoon and Detroit's offense.
And again, that's with Josh Allen not even scoring a touchdown.
So since I gave the credit to the AFC East, probably going to go 8-0. I got to give it to the NFC North that looks like they're going to go 8-0 also to match that.
Wow. So speaking of which, yeah, that's another one that's going to be getting out of hand here. All right, moving along. Yep, the Vikings are going to close that one out against the Texans. We're going to come back to this next one on the chart here, Dave. That's you versus the Broncos. I think that might be the most intriguing matchup of the night.
It is, and we'll talk about it later.
Yep.
So
So we'll skip ahead. We've got the Broncos versus the Bucks, but looks like Sean's gonna finish
Broncos,
this one off.
Bucks. Yeah, Nick's up by 57. The only thing Tampa Dustin's got left is Tyreek Hill. Again, who's going to throw him the ball? Um, can't see it happening. So
No,
Sean's going to get a victory there.
it's rough. No, you're absolutely right, Hayden. I mean, the dude's capable of running for 200 any night. He
Yeah,
he just does not look like he's slowing down.
especially when he goes from 80 for 87 on the first carry, untouched.
He's outrunning like 24-year-old cornerbacks. It's
So,
unreal. Great week for sure. Yeah, nice job. I'm just saying, if Allen did anything last night, he'd be staring at like a 370, 380 night, which would a week, which would be insane. Um, this one here, this is an interesting matchup. I need the Panthers to win this one.
Carolina's up by 35. Adams got 3 players left. He's got um, Tony Pollard left. He's got safety Kirby Joseph and the linebacker Dotson left. Chargers, Jared, he's got Harold Landry and Ernest Jones. I just don't think it's enough to overcome 34 points.
Mm-mm.
So tip the hat
No,
to Carolina on that one.
it is not. Rookie Brian Thomas with a nice little game, but in a losing affair for the Jacks. Okay, so over here, I believe the Saints are gonna get in the win column.
I believe they are gonna get into the win column here. He's up by 54. He's got Jared Goff. He's got his punter left, and the defensive end Landry. That's a check player for. He's going to put Jared in check on that because they both are playing him. So those will even out. So basically, it's a 3-on-1, and they're not going to overcome that 45 points. So congrats to Brent, who's getting his first victory in the MDFL this weekend.
Yeah.
Go NFC
Man,
South.
I know the Rams are really banged up, but man, what a terrible showing for them in Chicago. All right. So,
Which one you got next?
the Saints again. Does he have an opportunity to beat the Chargers here?
Saints Chargers. Yeah, we just did that one, didn't we?
Wait a minute. Sorry.
Saints
Uh,
Carolina.
yeah, there we go.
Or
Saints,
Charger. Which one is this? Raiders.
Raiders and Panthers. Sorry, I'm
Raiders
getting mixed up.
Panthers. Matt and the Raiders up by 24. He's got Goff and Jordan Brooks left, compared to Adams, Pollard, and Kirby Joseph and Dotson. I think Matt wins this game. I think he holds him off, even with a player less. So it could flip, but kudos to Matt and the Las Vegas Raiders. So
Is he going to hang on to first place after this week? It sure sounds like it.
I believe he is. In my book, he is. Yes. I think he's going to go to 5-1, and I think he's probably going to be like one victory short of having as many victories in the Raiders organization as the previous owner without the dead cap money.
Yeah, that's true. This is wild. The AFC West has been flipped on its head after 6 weeks.
So you do got to tip your cap to Aaron. He drafted a lot of young guys, and he's not here to see the fruits of his pain. So they're doing well.
True.
He's going 4 wide there.
This Malik Neighbors, Jaden Reed combo is looking pretty mean. Okay, we got a couple more here. This is what I was talking about. Can the Saints help me out and fend off the Raiders?
Again, the Raiders are up by 15. He's got Goff and Jordan Brooks left, and the Saints have got Goff. That's going to be a push, and so then all he's got is the punter and defensive end Landry going. So
not enough.
Probably not going to be enough, unless somebody goes crazy and does something weird, like gets a deflection touchdown or something like that and runs it back and it's wearing an Atlanta jersey or something like that.
Man, and Poor Brent, unfortunately, may be losing Rashee Rice for the season. I was very high on him coming into this year in redraft leagues. I felt like a lot of people would undervalue him because he's not going to get suspended till next year, in my opinion. And I felt like he was going to become their number one receiver, and he might be done for the year. That's tough. All right, last but not least, this is the one that is maybe the most intriguing. Dave has nobody left. Does Sean come charging back?
Well, for the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to put the jinx on it and say Sean does. So I'm going to jinx him and say Sean does it. The interesting thing here is I'm up by 36 points. He's got Amon St. Brown and Rayshon Jenkins left. And those two have been averaging a combined 37 points, which is exactly the difference by 1 point.
Amazing.
But digging into it a little bit deeper, and the Detroit fans are probably going to shoot me for this. The Seahawks have not allowed a receiver to get those 21 points all year. So I'm rooting for the Seattle defense secondary to shut down St. Brown and maybe we just hand the ball off to Gibbs all night long. So
you told me that number, and I'm like, man, that's got to be the result of a small sample size. And sure enough, you look at the matchups. The Seahawks played the Dolphins in the Tua injury game. They've played the Patriots, and they played somebody else that hasn't figured out how to throw the ball yet. So interesting things you can get out of small sample sizes. I definitely expect a correction of the statistics tonight versus the Lions.
so anyways, this game's going to be really close, and
Yeah,
like I said, I'm just going to jinx Sean and say he's going to win it, and that way I feel good tomorrow. I'm either going to be right or win. I'll take the victory though.
man, you started Algier and Bijan. Wow, look at that.
A little bit of inside information there. So my other option was Christian Watson, and no, I really thought that Malik Willis was still going to be the quarterback, and of course, Christian went out with a high ankle sprain and didn't get any points anyway, so I kind of sucked out correctly that way.
Well, you made the right call. None of your other flex options did squat.
Yeah, and then but I also had to go with Andy Dalton as quarterback and put Stafford on the bench.
Which was another great call because Stafford, yeah, did not show up in Chicago.
So just to get it, just to let Nick know, I'll just say, good job on the Red Rocket. Hopefully, getting me a victory. Since he's calling Dalton the Red Rocket. That's his new nickname.
Okay, so yep. Again, guys, this is probably the most intriguing matchup of the night, with Sean's projected players having potentially just enough to take out Dave by a point or two. That's probably the most interesting one we've got. What else we got, Dave? We ripped through this a lot faster than I thought we would.
Well, the biggest thing that I took from this today, there's a lot of, AFC, NFC split. Obviously, we want bragging rights. Looks like the NFC North is going to go 8-0. The AFC East is going to go 8-0. Looks like the NFC North is starting to become the powerhouse division in the NFC with the numbers that they're throwing up out there. So it's interesting. It's been fun to watch. It looks like there's a lot of teams going to go 1-1, except for those two conferences.
Yeah, I'm actually just kind of looking at so far points for numbers. In the AFC, you've got the Bengals and the Patriots leading the way as the only teams, not including this week, of course, that have scored over 1,000
1,000
points.
points. Yep.
And the Commanders, who we thought would be pretty strong as well, as the only other team over 1,000 points.
Yep. Well, then we'll get to something new next week. We got our first bye week we've got to deal with next week as a league. Ooh. So this will go into who doesn't have their studs to play next week.
Yeah. Always can change things a lot in this league. Let's see, just real quick here, kind of look at what's coming up. Um, Maybe I can right the ship against the Dolphins. Doubtful. And Nick might put a pounding on Dustin. Dan with an opportunity to get right here against the Texans, maybe. Even on a lackluster or less than average season for the Broncos, that Jets Broncos matchup is pretty interesting.
Yep.
That Patriots
The
Raiders
Patriots Raiders
matchup
game
is
looks
looking
really good
pretty
too.
good. Yeah, Matt's doing well with that team. Um, Bills and Chargers. You've got the Lions.
I've got the Lions. They're saying 20 points for the Lions right now. I took a little sneak peek. I do happen to know that the Lions are also on a bye next week, so that means there's no Gibbs, there's no Campbell, and any other Detroit players that Jordan might have.
Yeah, Jordan, this is what I keep doing with my defensive guys. I've been putting a lot of the bad guys on the bench so far. I'm just very worried about my flex players who are just with Tyreek's my highest scorer and he doesn't have a quarterback right now.
Yeah, just jet sweeps. Just hand him
Yeah,
off the ball.
seriously. Vikings Panthers could be very intriguing.
That should be a good game there.
So yeah, we got some fun matchups for next week. I don't know, just out of curiosity, I'm real quick since we're ahead of schedule. I'm gonna look at the pool results. This has been kind of a rough pick'em league so far, but being back seven's not that big of a deficit in only week 4. Um,
You took Miami in the game tonight?
yeah, why did I do that? Home team. Sometimes if I don't know, I just take the home team. I still just do not trust Levis.
You've been bashing on Huntley all night long, and you picked him to win. What?
Yeah, I don't know why. No, I
What
really
is with
don't.
that?
Yeah, I don't know. Some questionable calls in here. I mean, the Browns, I've talked about how you can't trust Deshaun Watson anymore either, and yet I still picked him on the road.
Well, look at the Denver Jets game. Everybody picked the Jets. We were all wrong on that game.
Yeah, and Bo Nix threw for 60 yards, and they just played great defense.
So,
Yeah. So yeah, interesting league so far. So there you
hey,
have
that
it.
Arizona Washington game, there was only
Ooh,
one guy that got that game right.
yes, that's a good pick. Jaden Williams has really played great.
I
Uh,
think Jaden Daniels is the real thing. I mean, I've seen him
yes,
play. Picked up a couple of his games a couple of weeks ago, and man, he looks good back there. He looks comfortable back there, and the dude can run.
I'm already feel like I took the wrong rookie quarterback.
So
And I was the only one that had the balls to pick the Red Rocket over his old Bengals, and that was the wrong call. Uh, so then, everybody taking the Niners, and then more than half of us picking the Niners in Survivor because nobody wants to end this thing after another week.
nope.
So, all right. There you have it, guys. Our NFL Week 4, MDFL Week 5 and 6 recap. Kind of whizzing through all of these, so many matchups, but so just kind of focusing on the ones that are close. But yeah, again, Broncos versus Dave's Falcons. Dave's done, but Sean's got 2 studs going tonight, and they might catch up. So something
Good
to
luck,
watch for.
Sean. Not.
There you have it. Good luck to everybody that really needs a W tonight. Hopefully Nick loses because we need him to be uncomfortable.
Yep. Well, I'll get a new power rankings out tomorrow after these
Ooh.
games are done. We'll see how that adjusts after another week. We'll kind of
Uh,
see how the standings readjust when a couple teams get 2 victories or 2 losses, and see what happens with that. But
Appreciate you
anyways,
guys watching. It's always more fun when there's people in the chat giving us crap or talking about what's going on. Definitely more fun this way. That's part of the fun of doing it live for sure.
and not everybody
Uh,
thinks it's an SAV.
Exactly. There's some value in this, But hey, again, we don't claim to be the experts. We're just the ones willing to do it. If anybody wants to join us, it's very easy to add other screens to this stream. I'm willing to walk you through it.
Yep.
But I think that's probably it, guys. Dave, if you want to save those power rankings for next Monday with only 16 matchups, maybe we can unveil them during the recap. Eh?
I don't
Eh?
know about that.
All right, all right, all right. Oh, Sean pops in right at the end to say you're going down.
I already said you were, Sean. I am. I'm going down. You're going to win. So I've already jinxed you. You know that.
He's going with the white flag jinx. Oh yeah, I'm sure Amin Ra is over there taking it easy. He's thinking about it right now.
Hey, I'm just going to say, hand the ball off to Gibbs. Hand the ball off to Gibbs.
There you go. There you go. That super stout Seahawks secondary. All right, guys. So this has been it. Thanks everybody for watching. Enjoy the Monday night football games, and we will see you here again next week.
Yep. By the way, the Tennessee-Miami game's been on for 10 minutes, so get off your computer. Let's go watch some football. Catch you guys next week.
Sounds good. See you guys.
Thanks, Mike. See you guys.
See ya.